Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be dropping an overview of this bad boy right here. It says right here, the Private Eye. It says writer Brian K. Vaughan. Some of you may be familiar with him. Pretty well-known writer in the comic book scene. Artist Marcos Martin. Colorist Munza Vicente. So those names sound kind of like French to me. Maybe Italian or something. So, I believe they're European creators, which explains why I haven't heard of them because I don't read a lot of European comic books. But yeah, so this is the artist colorist. I believe they are a couple. Here on the cover, you see a lot of people wearing these crazy masks. Except for this guy, he's our private eye. He's our main character. You see him with a cigarette. He's also the only one in color, so it really pops. He stands out from everybody else, right? Everything else is kind of like sepia type, and he doesn't have a mask. He's wearing this sweater that has a mask facing backwards, however. So it's like a cloak. He can camouflage into things, right, to certain environments. So this really reminded me of some of the pages on Transmetropolitan where you have your guy that's just a human and all kinds of different alien species walking around in the city. But here they're masks. They're not necessarily aliens. But when I first saw it, I didn't know that before I read the book. So I was like, oh, all kinds of different creatures reminded me of that. So it piqued my interest. Here is the back cover. Same picture, the guy without all the other characters. Here says The Private Eye, the Cloudburst edition. So meaning it's the whole collection in one book. It is printed by Image Comics. $50 cover price right there. And here gives you a little synopsis about the story. And I'm going to give you my own interpretation of it in a minute. All right, let's flip through the pages a little bit. I did forget to mention it's a landscape, the shape. So meaning it's shorter, but it's longer. So it's meant to fit like a widescreen because this was originally written for the internet, webtoons. So the inner covers, just solid black. It's a kind of a pain in the ass when you open it to film. It's a pain. To read, it's a little bit different. You gotta get used to it just because it's wider. It's not that big a deal. Private Eye. Here we get the same picture. It's 10 issues. So here they call them 10 chapters, right? Chapter 1. Very attention grabbing, like I said. So you gotta get used to the fact that it's wide. Oh, my copy's damaged right here. So anyways, this guy, he's a private eye. He's taking pictures of this lady. So, creepo! So anyways, as he's taking pictures of her, you see her undressing here. And look at her body, right? She's like average looking, but she puts this facade that she looks much more attractive, like very above average. Even the mask, she takes it off, and she's just an average looking woman. But she goes into public and you think she's a 10, right? 10 out of 10. So it gives you a little play on this world we're living in where we're setting up the environment. It's all about looks and aesthetics and, like your brand and whatnot. That type of a way of thinking. So everybody's fake. We're in Hollywood. LA is fake. Everybody gets implants. They get fake body parts. So it's just a play on that, but to the extreme, right? But there's some truth to what's being said here. They just exaggerated some. So they catch him. He's being a peeping Tom. Turns out he's a private eye and he's investigating it for other reasons that we won't get into so you can read the book. I will show this, however. You see him here in this big full page splash. He's jumping here. So you get a look at the city. So we could get a look at what we're dealing with, the environment and the world. This art is, oh man, it's very dynamic. Everything looks very exciting. From here this way, so you see him jumping and they're chasing him, and it looks like very exciting. Very right from the beginning, it starts off on 1,000,000 miles and running, right? It's like action packed. It moves fast. Dialogue is nice. So on this part, you see him hold on to the post and look at the subway coming straight to us, and they do these lines like the manga because it's meant to be show speed, so much speed, right? It's driving so fast. Everything is moving so quick. And here when he's running on top of the train, we just get his footsteps, but we get this big, long style panel, right? That's one thing I noticed with these landscape books, especially with this artist. He really knew how to use the format of the screen on the computer, right? So this way it makes the place look longer when he's running. Then when it looks longer, it makes things look either farther away from each other or like they're moving faster. Look at this other page here. It says Los Angeles Times. So we know we're in LA. And look, it's a long screen. You see how far they are from each other. See how far apart. So it really gives you like this extra dynamic that you don't always get with when the comics are regular like that. When it's longer, especially more, it's more the artist than the format, but him using it properly, right? Like he's taking advantage of the fact that the book is so much wider. Here is the intro. Now it says Brian K. Vaughan, Marcos Martin, The Private Eye, with Munza Vicente. So we got this. It's like a movie, right? You get the first 5 minutes and then you get the credits. Started off really cool. It immediately hooked me. We see the world. Look at the cars. They're flying. So we're like in the future, but it's LA. But then we got payphones. We don't got cell phones. We got payphones. So that's crazy. See other people, how overcrowded LA is. This is so true. It's totally like that. So now we know that shit is kind of weird here, right? Like you're getting old technology, but you're in the future. So basically the story, what goes down here is that we talk about how the internet made everybody dumb and life got boring because everything got done for you on the internet, right? And it also made it dangerous because they get all your information. The cloud saves all your pictures, your videos, your text messages. So people had no privacy. And one day, the cloud exploded. Everybody's personal information and pictures went public on TV screens. Everybody knew everything about everyone, and it ruined a lot of lives. A lot of people got divorced because husbands or wives were doing things they shouldn't. People got fired because they were doing things at work. Like, it let you know that you need to have some privacy because it also brings bad things. You know, it's good to be an open book, but there's things that do more harm than good, if you will. So they should be just kept to yourself, and that ruined everything. So now we're in the future with future technology, but we're no internet. We don't want any type of internet because it ruined life. So now we got future technology, but we're living like how we did in the 80s and 90s when life was fun. People interacted in real life. That's why there's so many people. Look, they made sure they showed you that there's so many people out on the streets. It's not like now where it's a ghost town. Everybody communicates through the text messages, through social media. They don't actually go out and meet each other, right? And look, everybody has masks because we all have to protect our identity. So it's like a big deal in this world. We learn from the past. Look at them here talking and they got their masks. And we show here he's smoking cigarettes, but look, they're marijuana cigarettes because we are in the future and it's legal. So it's like buying a pack of cigarettes. That's where we're headed to right now, as we're kind of already there. So I really like it's an interesting world. It reminded me a little bit of Back to the Future Part 2, where we're on like those flying skateboards and stuff like that. Look at here. We make sure we see the sign, Hollywood. So we know where we're at again. And look at the cars with the, they hover with the tires sideways and they look futuristic. We're in the year 2075. Watch the grandpa. He has this on his table, MTV music videos. So he has this MTV thing because he's back from the 90s. It was his youth, 90s and 2000. 2010, 2008, that was his youth. Now he's like a 90-year-old guy in 2075, right? So he still remembers those times, and he thought that was it. That was where it was at, and that he liked the internet. It was also good, like he enjoyed it, but all these other people were like, it was bullshit, like it ruined lives. So it's outlawed. Yeah, I'm just gonna show the end of chapter 1, then we won't talk about plot-wise. We're not gonna talk about anything. We'll just show a few pictures, and I'm gonna talk about the pictures themselves. Here you have this guy talking to this woman. Then I like, again, the long panels, and you see it's dark on the sides. So it's like only concentrate on that specific panel, not panels next to it. So I like what they did there. And it's dark, so it's going to be something bad. Here he gets closer, and again, we only concentrate on one panel. No panels on the side to distract you. Closer, and then it turns red. So this was like really well done. And this was actually one of those pages where it was more slow paced. Everything wasn't moving so fast anymore. We move to the next panel and you see he's stabbed her. So it's like, whoa, what's going on here? We got a picture of her mouth right here. Then we move to the eyes. She's tearing up because she's dead, right? Now we get this long picture. You see him pulling the knife out of it. That's a big fucking knife. That's not like a little pocket knife. That's like a big like kitchen knife or something, right? So you know that did some damage. Then we move to the next picture here. You see it looks almost like it's raining in the backgrounds, but it's really just the glass. Now when we change the picture here, like this one right here, it looks real good. Like you see the blood smearing, like she fell against the wall and just slid down. Then we get our killer, his face right there. So that's where the story starts. We gotta investigate this. This is a brutal murder that went down. Why was she killed? This is the mask she wore. That's right. Your mask are like your IDs, right? That's the face. That's the face people know you by. So here's chapter 2. People are tripping up because there hasn't been a murder like this in a long time. People kill differently now. We're in the future. You know, there's poison. There's other ways of doing it. Like, I guess you could say more low key or more humane. This seemed like very personal. And they show here, like, to make sure you know that there's payphones. Like, we're back to payphones, so that you can ask those questions. Like, payphones, if it's the future, wouldn't there be cell phones? So you know that some things went backwards. And as the story goes along, they explain to you why some of the technology is not around anymore. Now let's talk about the art a little bit. I like the artists and colors here. Oh, I really enjoyed what they did here. See here, when she's kicking him, everything in the background is white. And it's a big panel because it's an action scene, like something action-packed happened. Kicked him right in the groin. And you see him flying up. So you get the energy. But I like that in specific moments like this, they make sure there's no background so that you only see what the characters are doing. So that it draws attention to just the characters. So I like they did that here. Like again here, look. He's shooting, blam, blam. Background is blank and you just see the gun and bullets. So you know it's like an action-heavy scene. See the letters here? And they do a lot of small panels like this. See how it hit this glass. Missing her, but hitting this glass. So the fact that they do a lot of small panels like that the letters go across, makes it's a bullet, so it makes it look fast, right? They did a real good job. I really enjoyed the artists here. I'm kind of want to see what else they have done. I don't know if they work specifically only on webtoons. Last page I'm gonna show. Look at here when they crash, and it's a full page. And it's the post office. Man, look at all them omnibuses that were about to be shipped out. Oh, they're all ruined. My shit's always in share, so I'm straight. But you know, some of you yeah, I might be out of luck. Yeah, that looks awesome. And then again, they draw the lines on the bottom. And the lines here, so you know the car was trying to turn, but it still hit the truck. Look at this. Again, all purple background, and you just see the tire flying. So you know it was a big impact. And again, look at here. All purple and just the letters. And here you see all the letters, and you see the car upside down, but they made sure it was a big, long down panel. It just makes it look a lot cooler when it's like it keeps going. Really enjoyed that. I'm not gonna talk too much more about it anymore. I want you guys to read it. It's a good read. It's worth it. You could find this online, eBay and stuff, about 20 bucks. I know it says $50 cover price, but you could get copies for about 20. And at its core, it talks about a lot of things that we all think sometimes, or you heard being said, about how the internet is bad, or how life used to be so much more fun before the internet. People don't go out anymore. It touches on a lot of that, but the core of the story is it's about terrorism. So you think they're building nuclear weapons, but in the future, nuclear weapons are different. So what's more dangerous is like information and internet and all. That's the stuff we don't want around. So we're not using anthrax and poisons. We're using different ways of like ruining the world. So yeah, check it out, man. It's a good read, and I would dare say it's also like very thought-provoking stuff that you already maybe have thought about, or still do, or you have heard or whatever, and it makes you ask questions about like, hey, a lot of this stuff happens in the real world. So yeah, check it out. Definitely recommend it. If you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button so you could be it could notify you on your feed when the next video drops. And this is one I really recommend. I really had fun with it. All right, guys, I'll check you guys out next time.